Hey, I'm Shalonda Gordon, also known as a single mom touched by God's grace or the online marketing angel. Choose which one. I'm here to talk to you today about forgiveness and really, and more and specifically, forgiveness of your children, forgiving your child, and making sure they're aware that you're forgiving them. Now, I know some of you out there, you might be moms, you might be dads, and you're like, look at here, Shalonda, I am not getting ready to go and humble myself before my child and ask for forgiveness. And I would challenge you to change your mind on that. Basically, because the times we live in today, we really don't have that luxury. Unfortunately, it's not like it was when our parents were raised, or even when we were raised, or when our grandparents were raised. It's just not that kind of rodeo anymore. And we have to come at parenting from a whole totally different perspective. I'm realizing that I'm feeling more like Mission Impossible when Tom Cruise comes out the ceiling and comes down and is like, bah. Instead of coming through the front door, we have to come with different approaches. And some of these approaches cause us to have to look in the mirror and deal with ourselves a little bit. Yet this particular video is really more about forgiveness. And let me tell you some things that happened and show you how I deal with this in my household. Okay. Now, first off, my oldest daughter, Catherine, she had lied to me. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I can't stand a liar. I cannot stand a liar. Now, the reality of it is that in the past, when I was younger, right, before I had kids, I used to lie a little bit, just a little bit, because usually when there's something that you're adamant about and you can't stand, it's because some of that is inside of you and you just don't want to admit it. But see, I'm here to admit to you, yeah, I've lied. That's probably why I don't like a liar, right? So my oldest daughter, she had lied to me, and it had been weeks and weeks, but I still had not let it go. Like, she would open her mouth to say something, I'd be like, "You're lying." She'd look at me funny, I'd be like, "You lying." She turned left instead of right, "You're lying." Like, it was just, she blinked, "You're lying." It was crazy. So then I noticed that she was not forgiving her little sister for whatever she had done to her, right? She was just snapping at her. She just wasn't forgiving. And I was like, what's really going on? So usually before I approach the girls, I go to my prayer closet to make sure I'm on point, right? So I go into my prayer closet. I'm like, Lord, these girls just won't forgive each other. I don't understand what's going on. What should I do? And God's like, well, you're not forgiving either. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He was like, well, you haven't forgiven Catherine for lying. And that was weeks ago. I was like, wow, that's a very good point. And the minute it came, I knew exactly what the Lord was talking about because it was true. I hadn't forgiven her and I was holding it over her, so I had to go to Catherine and say, Catherine, can I speak with you for a moment? Would you please forgive me for not forgiving you when you lied to me? Over the last couple of weeks, it's been unacceptable. I should have forgiven you when we discussed it and let it go then, and I didn't. And I need your forgiveness for that. Catherine, she forgave me for that. And then I let her know, and I forgive you for lying. I want from this point forward, I'm forgiving you, and it's not going to come up again. Okay. She was like, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. Now, my daughter's 12. I want you to know this. First off. Second off, I need you to understand that because I decided not to forgive when it happened, now I'm having to come back and humble myself before her and ask her for forgiveness because I couldn't forgive at the time, right? So now I'm apologizing for something that she should have had to apologize for. Only yet it is what it is because now I'm in error, and since I'm in error, that trumps it all the other stuff. I can't go but no, I was wrong. Please forgive me. Period. Right? Now, let me explain something else to you about forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't something that we actually do, it's a decision that we make. So I make the decision to forgive, and then everything else works itself out. Now, you're probably like, Shalonda, whatever. I made a decision to forgive before, too. It ain't that easy. You're right. Because you can't keep bringing it up. If you keep bringing it up, you haven't forgiven yet. So if there's situations in your life where you say you've forgiven, but you keep bringing that thing up, you haven't forgiven yet. You haven't. Now, the ways I forgive is I pray. Some people, you might meditate or whatever it is you do, but I pray. So when I decide to forgive somebody and I make that decision, now I go and I pray. And I pray for that person. I pray blessings over them. I pray success over them. I pray that their dreams will become a reality. You see what I'm saying? And then I pray that God will continue to heal my heart concerning the situation so that forgiveness can take place. Okay? So that is how I deal with that. That's a sidebar. Now, so back to the story. So Catherine, she accepted my forgiveness, and I accepted for her apology. She accepted my apology for not forgiving her for lying, and she accepted my apology for lying. I forgave her for lying, and then I asked her if she would please forgive her sister for whatever her sister had done. Now, at this point, Catherine's kind of like, well, okay, that's a good point. Yes, I can forgive Chloe. So she did forgive her sister, and now there's peace in the house. Now, I had to explain that the resolve, the basic resolution of this situation was that we want peace in the household, right? You want peace in your household. But that's not the real reason why I asked my daughter for forgiveness and humble myself before her and allow her to feel that her forgiveness matters. Because one, it does, okay? And two, she needs to know it does. It helps to edify her. It helps to build her up inside. It helps to take her confidence to a whole new level, right? This works for daughters and sons. Now, some of you can remember when growing up, when did your parent ever apologize to you? Ever? In fact, I would be willing to bet there were times when you know you deserved an apology, instead you got a whooping. I know I'm not, I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about, right? But guys, in today's day and age in 2013, we don't have that luxury of being that prideful. We don't. Because this world we living in is full of predators that want your seed. They want your seed. I need you to understand that. And they'll go about it in the most amazing ways, like Tom Cruise coming through the ceiling, right? They'll go about it in amazing ways by even apologizing to your child to edify them and make them feel important so that your child will begin to confide in them and not you. I need you to follow me on this because we do not have that luxury in today's day and age. You may not believe me right now. You may think, Shalonda, you're tripping. My child won't respect me if I do that. Okay, try it. I dare you. Just try it one time. One time. Try it. And when you do it, I want you to look at your child's face. I want you to see their eyes get bigger. First, now, depending on how your relationship is with your child, they may look at you like you're trying to trick them or something. But if you already have kind of a bond created, it's not going to do anything but edify your child and build your child up. And in essence, build up the household. And it's going to create a tighter bond in that household. Take the time to ask for forgiveness. It helps when your child realizes we're not perfect. My daughter knows very well I'm not perfect. She knows I know a lot more than her because I can tell her my faults and the things I do right. Okay. I know sometimes, we grew up, our parents were like, just don't do it. No. But we never understood why. So we go do it just to figure out what the big fuss was about. Maybe not we. I did. I'm just speaking about myself, right? So with my children, I decide that, yes, I want you guys to understand. No, you shouldn't do that. Why? Because when I tried it back then, this is the stuff that happened, and I really don't want you to have to go through that. Do you want to go through that? Well, no, Mom, not really. I know, right? That wouldn't be too cool, would it? No, Mom, it wouldn't. Just something to think about. Giving them something to think upon so they don't have to try to go figure it out on their own. Give them the answers that they would seek. Because we know them. We've done it. Now, what age do I start apologizing to my child, Shalonda? I do it with my 5-year-old. I ask her for forgiveness. And she asked me for forgiveness. Now, I do teach her this. When she says, I'm sorry, I say, you're not sorry. You apologize. And she says, I apologize. Because words do matter. And the sooner we teach our children that what they say matters, the better. Some of us need to figure that out for ourselves. What comes out of your mouth matters. Even when you're joking, it matters. Your subconscious can't tell the difference between a joke and reality and what you truly mean. So it just benefits you just to say what you mean every time. Don't even joke with your words, especially when speaking about your children. Especially when speaking about your children. Because you have authority, and what you speak will become a reality in your children's lives. That's totally another video, yet that's something to consider. Now, some of you in your lives, there's a lot of stress and a lot of other things going on that cause you humbling yourself for forgiveness to be kind of difficult, kind of hard. I'll admit, I'm a stay-at-home single mom. My life, my work that I do through the internet allows me to have certain controls and boundaries that allow me to have less stress in my life, a little bit more peaceful around. Yes, I'll admit that. If you are looking for a way to say, you know what, Shalonda, I have this job, but I'm not really feeling it, and that kind of thing, I do want to create an extra income. I do want to see a way where I can maybe lower the stress by generating income in a different, more stressless way. Go ahead and click the link below. And I would love to start to work with you and get you the information that you need to begin to build an income where it's less stressful, in a less stressful environment, where really there's edification being built up, a lot of mindset work, okay, to help us be the parents we should be. So go ahead, click the link below, guys. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for your time and keep smiling.